Hey, 8th graders, second time I'm going through this. This is lesson 18, and it's a context lesson. Your context pages are 191 to 196, and I'm just going to talk about those first because I just stopped talking about them, and so I'm going to address them first. On page 191 and 191, 192, on the article, the majority of the words have synonyms after them. All right, in the sentences, they follow the bold word. A few of them on page 192 have them in front of them. If they aren't a synonym, then it looks like they're doing examples. Sorry, I had to scoot in here. So look for examples. All right. Once again, that's 191 to 196, mostly synonyms. That's what the 7th grade lesson was as well. Okay, pretty common. All right. So a lot of these words we addressed because they were in the analogies. So I'm going to reference vocab 17 frequently. And that's the case with the first word. The first word, bandy, is a verb. Bandy means to toss jokes back and forth, wittyisms. Remember, I talked about Mrs. Roybal being the best of this, boys. She can send back puns, make jokes, make allusions, and just throwing jokes back and forth with her is very fun. To bandy with her is fun. All right, and it's a verb. Degenerate is a noun, a person noun, a verb, or an adjective. All the same spelling. Pronunciation, if you degenerate, that means to move lower, with a standard of behavior. If you're degenerate, it means that you move to a lower level of behavior, or you're because of numerous reasons. Grades could degenerate. Okay, attitude can degenerate. Hope that doesn't happen, but it can. Okay, if a person who was at a certain level of behavior, and a certain standard, gets involved in crime and stuff, then they might degenerate. They could become a degenerate. That's a different pronunciation, same spelling. Okay, a degenerate is one who is a liability on society, doesn't help, is involved in perhaps crime, or just causes problems. All right. And they used to be at a certain level, but then their behavior worsened, and and they just started behaving at a lower level of moral standard. Okay. Efficacious. That's an adjective. We described it a couple weeks ago. Efficacious is synonymous with effective. If this video is efficacious, you'll understand the words better. Okay? It'll help you complete your lesson 18. Okay? Equestrian. Equestrian is a noun or an adjective. And an equestrian is a person noun. And we have an example in our class of an equestrian, and that's Abby. Abby is a horseback rider. All right, she's an equestrian. So she has equestrian gear. All right, specific clothing, specific gear that's used to ride horses. So an equestrian, it has to do with horses. Okay. Felony. A felony is a noun. And a felony is a serious crime. Now, a crime that's not as serious, we define that as a misdemeanor. But a felony is serious, and there's going to be jail time, or at least a big fine, and maybe parole, or community service or something, but more than just a misdemeanor, all right? Such crimes would include murder. Well, Mulligan in Piercing the Darkness, by taking Sally's letters, that's a felony. Okay, stealing somebody's mail, that's a felony. All right? So it's a serious crime. The next word, flay. Flay is a verb. And remember when I talked to you last Thursday about Scroop and Cambridge and Gray, their punishments, and I told you how I kind of did a little research on that. Flay was a type of punishment and torture that was big way back when, in the Dark Ages, and it would kind of suspend people over boiling water, which would get their skin to kind of go away from their muscle, and then they'd flay them, which means to to cut the skin away from the muscle. All right. So to flay somebody way back then meant to take their skin off, and you may flay or skin fish, or an animal that you're hunting. You may take the skin off to flay them. That's what it means. But now the meaning has developed and become something stronger. You can flay someone by speaking very harshly to them, by insulting them, by criticizing them in a major way, yelling at them. It can flay them. All right, the words cut to the bone. All right, so flay has developed in meaning. It now means to criticize severely. Okay. Imperious. Imperious is an adjective, and we defined it when we talked analogies a couple weeks ago. And imperious, I said I hear that word emperor, and the emperors were usually very arrogant and like dictator-like, right? And that's what imperious means, very arrogant and haughty and my way or the highway type attitude, all right? Malevolent is also an adjective, and malevolent, let me give you the noun form, malevolence. How many of you have seen the movie Sleeping Beauty? The name of the witch in there is Malevolence. Maleficence, yeah. Anyway, it comes from that word, malevolent, meaning desiring harm or wanting to be mean, cruel, wanting ill will, all right? Just desiring evil. That's malevolent. Rationalize. Rationalize is a verb, and to rationalize means you try to justify. You try to think of all the reasons why you couldn't get your work done, and then try to make them sound legitimate, okay? To try to explain away why maybe something didn't get done, or something was forgotten, or something, okay? So we try to rationalize our behavior when we say, oh, well, yeah, he called me a name first, that's why I called him a worse name, That's rationalizing our behavior. Relent. Relent is a verb. And relent means to yield. For instance, if there was an assignment and all of you had major problems, or I didn't realize, oh no, this has happened before. Let's say I assigned a test, but then, you had tons of other tests that day, and everybody needed to do really well on this test. And I might relent and reschedule mine. Okay? I would yield and reschedule mine. Okay? That's relent, to give in. Okay? Now, I believe I've already talked about the context lesson. Watch for synonyms after and before. Couple of examples, but otherwise it's a pretty easy one. The article is very interesting, though, about P.T. Barnum, I think. So, anyway, this is due on Friday, and I hope this helps you out, 8th grade. Talk to you later.